So we're on a little road trip here today. It's like mid-afternoon on Saturday, and we're headed out to western Wisconsin to go check some of our turkey spots. We went out there last year. We didn't put any videos out of it, but we went out there and got our butts kicked for like, I don't know, 2 weeks or something. We pre-scouted those spots, but it was cold when we went and nasty and
snow on the ground.
I think it was snowing, yeah. And so we didn't really see much of turkeys. And then we went back and tried to hunt it and ran into hunters in a couple different places that we thought were going to be good. And the turkeys didn't go out to the fields like they do around here. We ended up moving locations to a different spot, like, I don't know, 50 miles away. And we got into some birds, but we were setting up in all the wrong spots. There was a lot of gobbling. We saw some giant paintbrush beards, you know, probably 6 or 8 gobblers, and it was good. We just could never figure it out. So yeah, we're gonna just wing it and take you along. So the field where we were seeing them was up here, and we didn't really know it was so thick and green when we came here. We were just hunting the fields, but we had sat up over here, and that's where they were coming out of. So we came in this woods. It's like a finger that goes up to see where they're coming out of, and that looks pretty steep, and there's a lot of little washes going through, but this side looks, you know, pretty easy walking. So I'm gonna guess that they're coming up through here somewhere. It's like a logging road or something coming down, which is on the backside of where we were hunting, and we could hear them down in here a lot. Well, that makes sense. They were running this logging road up into the fields and getting in and out, and we had no idea it was even here. Something we should have looked at the first time around. So that's a field over there, a field at the top of that ridge, a field over there, and a field up there.
Well, there's a field all the way along up here.
Yeah, and then that field continues running all the way across like this. So these things either are gonna hike up those hills. It doesn't matter where they're coming from. They're gonna run this road and then take a sprout off depending on which way they're gonna go. Like, how could you let this slip between your fingers, Bill?
Because I let you take the helm last.
I tell you, we didn't find this place until during turkey season, and we only had probably 3 days to hunt it, and we were just hunting the fields where we were seeing birds. We didn't, why would you run through the woods if you don't have to when they're coming in the fields every evening? So we didn't, but now we wanted to see where we're hearing them roost and gobble and hang out when they wouldn't come to fields. And look at them. Well, after seeing these tracks here, we definitely know that they're in here, and why not? I mean, everything around here is tall or you know, steep in some way. We got this little road that goes all the way through, and up here it looks like it's getting greener. All these trees are knocked down. The river's down here. Why wouldn't you?
This is all just turkeys.
Yeah, just turkey
I'm picking
tracks.
through bugs through all this.
You can. This is a strutter. You see this? You see the wing drags?
Mm-hmm.
So look at this. This is like a clearing for I don't know what. I think there's another road that goes up here. This road. You can see drag marks where there's obviously been a strutter. You can see the tracks. You can see where they've been digging at the ground. This is a good little spot to come to. And no one can get here unless they hike all the way around a private parcel like we did. We're probably, I bet, over half mile in. And you can't get here unless you got private land, or you can get across that river and through all that nasty jungle into here. These things probably don't see many people and don't get messed with. Obviously somebody knocked this down, you know, and made this, but you know, they probably don't have to deal with a lot of hunting pressure here. This might be a really good spot. It just rained for like a week straight or something. Like, I think this is our second day without rain or something. Look at all this. So these are fresh. I mean, it rained full days, so these wouldn't be here unless these were in the last 2 days. So the road that we came up, or we went down on, is right behind us. It goes all the way down, but it comes up and dumps into this field. We've seen birds in here in the afternoon, but it was one of those things that's, you know, a couple hundred acres, this whole field, the way it wraps around, and there's so many hills and ridges in it that you can't even come close to hunting the thing. You just gotta pick your spot and hope it's the right one. But that road's probably gonna be a main spot, but we also gotta check down over there. We heard them a lot. And up over this other hill, there's another field in woods that we heard them a lot. There he is. And just like that out here, you come over one little ridge like that, and he was just on the side of that green. And we've seen that happen a bunch of times. Now we thought that was private, but I'm pretty sure after looking at the maps, that's a public field and there's a lot of birds going in there. Coming to the end of day one here, out scouting. We only had about 2 hours to get in here and look, and then we got all day Sunday. But so far so good. We found a lot of good spots that we didn't get to look at last year. Seen some turkeys, saw lots of tracks, and I'm super excited to come back out here. We're gonna hike back to the truck and then head over to the campsite. Venison Sloppy Joe's for dinner tonight. Over the fire, I got some tinfoil. It's already cooked. We just need to heat it up. Gonna put in some tinfoil, put it on the fire. We'll show you. It's gonna be good. Tell me how it is.
Hot. Little hot.
So we just got to the spot. It's unmarked public that we've been looking at on the map, and we kind of found it. We found a private lands ahead sign, so we know that this is public, and we referenced it with the river stuff, and we just got out of the truck and Billy said he can hear gobbling up here. It's this big steep hill, but on the other side it's like a big crop field, so we're gonna get up there and go find some turkeys. We're not used to these kind of hills.
Let's put it this way, if I didn't hear turkeys gobbling, I wouldn't have climbed that.
So there's this one spot we saw in the field. It's kind of a green. It's all green over here, and there's this road down here. I'm gonna guess that's a good strut road that they probably work. It's kind of tucked off the back and aims towards the river. And give it a look. So this trail behind me comes off that field, comes down into this point. That's a huge drop off. Found one turkey feather on the way, and the river's just below this hill. It's a pretty big drop. See some scratchings in here. I would not doubt it. In fact, I would almost bet that these birds roost on the end of this point, somewhere in here over the river, and then they fly down onto this and walk this logging road up into those fields. What'd you find there?
Well, I would say that's a muzzy. Looking for the other half.
All right. So we kind of narrowed it down, I think, to what we think is going to be the best spot in this giant field, and it's this because it's green. You know, obviously they're gonna be eating in this a lot. I mean, they'll be in the corn too on a good rain day and stuff. They'll be in here, and I mean, you can see a ways. You know, they're kind of safe. But they have that big ridge that goes down and drops off to the water. Gradual valley that goes down here, kind of steep here, but they can roost at any of these points or down at the ends over the water and go down to the water. I would imagine that this is probably a spot that we'll probably key in on when we get back in here, if we do that other spot over here. The other spot we were at it's really nice. I mean, we've been in there, it's easier to get to, but
It's also easier for
we had somebody else hunting it, and that's the thing, is it's easy for us, it's easy for everyone, and we had mushroom hunters. We still saw a lot of birds. This is a really good option. This is very similar to the other place.
minus that hill.
Minus the giant hill. There's only one access point, right? It's only probably, you know, 300 yards of this road that you can get into this public, and then it expands, you know, left and right, a half mile to a mile, and then it probably goes back a mile to the river. But there's only one little access point, and there's one sign that says private lands ahead, otherwise you would not even know that's public. And then the hill is probably a 300 yard yard climb to the top to get into these fields. Just from the 2 seasons we spent out here last year, and the easiest spot to get to, we didn't see but maybe one other hunter and some mushroom hunters. So I think, and usually when I say this I'm wrong, I think we're pretty safe to assume that we can hunt either or and not really have to deal with people. And that would be fantastic. Heard them gobbling over here. Heard them gobbling when we were down at the truck. The other place we seen them, and we heard them gobble in the evening. It's super exciting. I think this is finally gonna be it. Finally the year we go out of town and make it happen.